evening, folks. Welcome to the 6 o'clock news on SBYnews.com. Today we have a special guest, John Pheebus.
Good evening, sir.
Good to see you. We're going to speak up a little bit so everybody can hear us a little more clearly. You're running for state delegate.
I am.
Cool. And what district?
I'm running for the House of Delegates for District 38A, which is all of Somerset and the southern portion of Wycomico County.
Okay. John, why are you running for that office?
I'm running for the House of Delegates because the citizens of Somerset and Wycomico counties need a true conservative to be a leader for them in Annapolis. For 8 years, we've been lucky enough to have the conservative leadership of Paige Elmore. And I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the new delegate, Carolyn Elmore, on assuming his position. She was sworn in Annapolis yesterday, and I think Carolyn's going to do just an outstanding job for the citizens of Somerset and Wycomico counties.
Goosebumps?
Oh, absolutely.
That's something good for her.
She was so much a part of the strength behind Paige, both during his years of service and during his recent illness. It's a wonderful tribute to him to see her assume his office for the remainder of his term.
Good.
Paige, for 8 years, was that conservative leader, and the citizens of Somerset and Wycomico County need someone who shares their values in Annapolis. And by a true conservative, I mean someone who believes in limited government, for government to stay out of our businesses, reduce taxes, a person who believes that government isn't the answer for things, but the ingenuity of individuals and small businesses here on the Eastern Shore is what's going to solve the problems that we have. I support local farmers, I support watermen, I support small businesses. I've been fighting for them for years in the courtrooms in the Lower Eastern Shore. I look forward to fighting for their interest in Annapolis.
Cool. Well, that kind of answers the second question, which was why did voters support you versus your opponent?
Well, yeah, I think there are some key differences between me and my opponents, and one of those is my conservative values. A couple of my opponents are involved in local county government. They've cast some tough votes for increasing taxes. Under some of their leadership, the size of local government is actually increasing, and I've actually fought against tax increases. In Somerset County, we were very successful in opposing large property tax increases that would have affected the waterfront properties. Right. So I think it's important that we recognize the difference between conservative leadership and people who aren't so conservative in their values. I think I have that. I also think I have some experience to offer to the job. I'm the president of the Christopher Chamber of Commerce. I'm very active on local boards. In 2003, Governor Robert Ehrlich appointed me to a commission to study the structure and efficiency of state government. I'm actually partially responsible for reducing the size of the state government.
Did you ever finish that job?
It's a job that is not finished, because I hope to finish more of the work of it if I'm elected in Annapolis.
Okay. Under the current administration, Maryland taxpayers received the largest tax increase in history. How do you believe that the governor and the legislature should attack Maryland's current fiscal situation and try and be as specific as you can?
Under Martin O'Malley, we saw a $1.4 billion tax increase. The large percentage of that was the 20% sales tax increase. That's bad for business, it's bad for Maryland. I would fight to repeal that tax. I think one of the key problems we have with the budget right now is that one-time spending tricks are being used to balance the Maryland budget. Over the past 3 years, close to, I think it's over $1 billion, or close to $2 billion in one-time transfers from funds to the operating funds have occurred under O'Malley. And last year, I believe $300 million was raided from the Highway User Funds, the University of Maryland System Fund, the Injured Worker Insurance Fund, even a fund that was set aside to clean up oil spills. These one-time budget tricks are being used to balance the budget in Maryland. And we all know that when you have less income, the only way to solve the budget crisis is to start spending less. That's what working families do in Maryland. When our income decreases, we spend less. We don't look for one-time budget tricks. I would support a balanced budget amendment that would stop these one-time transfers. And the way to solve the financial crisis in Maryland is to start investing in local businesses. You do that by getting out of the way of local businesses. You get out of the way by less regulation, by less taxes on these businesses. They will stimulate the economy, and they will help bring us back to where we need to be.
Okay. You answered part of this already. If elected, will you support the repeal of both the sales tax increase and also the so-called millionaire surtax?
Yes, I will.
How would you pay for it?
Yes, I will. Both of those are taxes that need to be eliminated. The sales tax increase was part of one of Governor O'Malley's largest tax increases, a 20% increase in sales tax. The millionaire's tax increase actually had the exact opposite effect that it was promised. The state of Maryland, not we, I disagree. The state of Maryland thought that by adding a surcharge to millionaires, that they would see more tax revenue. You know what happened? Those millionaires moved away. The studies show that 1 out of 8 of the millionaires' tax returns that were filed in 2008 simply weren't filed in 2009. We need to get rid of the taxes because we need to reward people who want to invest in Maryland. Maryland has a very bad track record on job creation and attracting businesses. We've lost Northrop Grumman, we've lost Solo Cup, the Walmart tax cost Somerset County a Walmart distribution center. Maryland needs to be friendly to business. If you encourage businesses to come to Maryland, you'll grow the tax base and pay for government that way.
Okay. Under the current administration, we've seen great effort by the state to force Wycomico County to strip farmers of their property rights by taking away many of their development rights. Do you support this? If not, will you commit, if elected, to support legislation to get the state government out of local planning decisions and, if need be, eliminate the Maryland Department of Planning?
Joe, I'm glad you asked this question because this is a key difference between me and one of my opponents. And let me be absolutely clear. I think downzoning is the theft of private property rights. It's wrong, and the only way the government should be engaged in that sort of thing is if there is just compensation. But I would actually support some laws that would stop the government from being able to take away certain property rights of individuals. If you have the right to do something with your private property on day 1, and then on day 2, because of some government action, you don't have the right to do that, your property is worth less. You've lost the equity in your property. Farmers who depended upon their farms for a retirement, for something to pass on to the next generation, are losing the equity in their land. And you asked the other question about the proper role of the State Department of Planning. You know, it wasn't too many years ago that the Department of Planning was actually just an office of planning. It was supposed to provide support services to local government, which is where local land use decisions belong. I believe in local control of zoning issues. I think that the State Department of Planning, under the Democratic leadership, has been encouraged to take over zoning in the state of Maryland as a whole. I think these important land use decisions are better left to local government with as little state interference as possible.
Great. In your opinion, what are the greatest challenges facing the Lower Shore, and how do you believe you can help solve those problems if elected?
I think the greatest challenges we have on the Lower Shore are jobs, job retention, job creation, and then what I see as the wholesale assault by Western Shore legislators on what are our traditional industries here on the Eastern Shore. You've seen the chicken farming industry come under attack by water keepers, by environmentalists, by legislators with these feel-good laws that they passed that enable family farms to be sued for no reason by people who live nowhere near the family farms. That sort of attack on our local industries, attacks by the Maui administration trying to shut down all oystering on the Chesapeake Bay. These things need to stop. You need a legislature who understands the traditional Lower Eastern Shore values, that these industries, chicken farming, farming in general, working on the water, small businesses, these are the backbone of the economy here on the Eastern Shore. The government needs to stay out of over-regulating it and over-taxing it. If you reduce the regulations, if you eliminate the corporate income tax, if you reduce the sales tax, create a business-friendly environment, and also an environment that's very friendly to the traditional industries on the Lower Eastern Shore, we'll be able to create those jobs and to make the turnaround of the local economy.
Excellent. John, thank you for being here. We appreciate that. This is a heck of a message. I hope everybody gets a chance to listen to it. Folks, we appreciate your support. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jeff.
Take care.